Welcome to the DSPN.
Team New Zealand's in trouble.
He's done it again, Ricky Hogan.
The Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
Welcome to the podcast, people. Marty Devlin, Lachlan Waugh. It's Friday. And what a weekend of sport we got in store. We're going to go through some of the biggest fixtures for you in just a minute. Some housekeeping as always. If you're watching us on YouTube, click the subscribe button. We're so close to 5,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. It would be an enormous help if you're listening to the podcast on Rover. You can also get us wherever you find your favourite podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Google Play. We put out lots of clips on social media as well, and that's Instagram, Facebook and TikTok. So if you want to see or hear the full versions of the interviews after looking at those clips, well, that's what you're doing right now. On the show today, double World Cup winning Wallaby Tim Horan joins us to preview the weekend's Super Rugby Round 4. We play What is More Chance of Happening, and we tackle your comments and fan feedback. A special Friday feature, as I said, where your comments get commented on. We begin the show the same way every day.
We live in an amazing, amazing world, and it's wasted on the crappiest generation of just spoiled idiots.
And on Fridays, as we head into the weekend, we just simply look at the three must-watch, can't-miss sports or sporting moments or matches to watch this weekend. And as always, plenty of awesome live sport on. There's rugby, both Six Nations and another Super Round. There's NRL, the rest of Round 1 from tonight through Sunday. Champions Trophy cricket final Sunday night into Monday morning. Premier League, ANBL, the final series starts this weekend. NBA, pre-season baseball, MLB if you love your baseball. So much to spin your wheels. And let's not forget, that all kicks off next weekend. F1 in Melbourne, the supercars attached. As always, I know I've missed a few events and occasions out, but here are my big three must-watch, can't-miss moments this weekend. In fact, there are so many individual games on, I'm grouping some of them together to give you even more options. Rugby. Take your pick. Six Nations, 3:15 Sunday morning, what is effectively the final between Ireland and France in Dublin. That is one to record and watch back over brekkie next morning, Sunday morning. Plus three Super Round matches that stand out for me. I mean, in actual fact, I think all five this weekend are worth watching, but the three that stand out, Drua Chiefs, Waratahs Force, who is the best Aussie team? We're going to find that out. And Sunday afternoon from Christchurch, Crusaders Reds. 5 NRL games left in round 1. My top two to watch are both Saturday night encounters with the Dragons hosting the Dogs and Manly, the Warriors' next opponent, home the Cowboys. Then it all wraps up with what could be history being made in Dubai. The Black Caps in brilliant form, facing the favourites India for the Champions Trophy. And an almost $4 million payday New Zealand dollars if our lads do win. So there it all is. Super competitive rugby. NRL is back and the Black Caps with another chance to win a major final and finally shake that oh so close but never no cigar tag at White Ball International tourneys. Again, we did win it in Kenya 2000, but how good would it be? Yeah, 25 years later, do it again. Lots to choose from. So once again, if you've got the time to spend, plenty of excellent live sport to watch this weekend.
Devlin.
Time to play your favourite game, Lachlan. Yesterday it was glass half full. Today that means it's...
What has more chance of
What
happening?
has more chance of happening? Yes. I give you a fixture and you tell me what is more chance of happening. The Black Caps beat India Sunday night, Champions Trophy, the final in Dubai. Or France go to Dublin and beat Ireland Sunday morning, 3:15 New Zealand time, in what is effectively the final of the Six Nations. What is more chance of happening?
Well, hey, don't count England out, because if France can win that, then all of a sudden you've got, assuming England are successful as well, you've got three teams tied on one loss and, 4 wins?
I'm backing Ireland in this one, but what do you reckon's got more chance of happening?
Yeah, I think it would be silly to go against Ireland. At the same time, don't discount France. They are a seriously good team with...
Yep.
French flair, we talk about it all the time. It seems to, what's the word I'm looking for? Supersede generations. Does that make sense?
No, that's what their DNA is.
Transcend generations. That's what I meant. I would say there's more chance. Oh, this is tricky because I give the Black Caps a good chance.
I give them a hell of a chance.
And there's something about us in India. I'm spending a lot of time on this, but we beat them in the semi-final in 2019. And we, ever since then, there's just been something about them, and a lot was made of it at the ODI World Cup 2 years ago.
Yeah, but they thrashed us in that.
They did thrash us, so that probably reversed it and sort of brought us back to square one. No, I'm actually going to say there's more chance the Black Caps win.
What is more chance of happening? The Black Caps beat India Sunday night, or the Brumbies beat the Blues tonight, Eden Park, 7:35.
More chance the Black Caps win, as much as the Brumbies will give the Blues a hell of a contest, I think. They're much better than their record suggests, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they've had the worst or toughest draw, I think, out of any team of all. First you go to Fiji And then you've got the Force at home should have been that should have been a
Well, the
gimme
Force just blitzed them in the first half.
win.
That
That
was
should have been a win. But
Whoa.
the Chiefs and then the Blues. So 3 out of those 4 games are 3 of the toughest games that you're going to
what it
play.
is?
Away trips at Eden Park, away trip in the Tron, and an away trip at the Drua.
We talk about the Ndrua being a bit unlucky being 0-3, but they are 0-3. The numbers don't lie. You talk about the Blues being 1-2 and losing a couple of New Zealand games.
Yeah.
You talk about the Brumbies maybe a bit unlucky. The Force are much better, I think, than many people. You know what that all says about this competition? It's a seriously good, even
That's it.
competition.
And I think that any team facing those 3 away trips to come away with 3 wins from Hamilton, Eden Park and Fiji would almost the impossible ask. There's more chance of happening then. Brumbies do upset the Blues tonight, or the Ndrua get their first win tomorrow, 4:35 against the Chiefs. Great fixtures this weekend. There is some real quality sport to watch this weekend.
Yeah. Ooh. Some serious tests, I think, for the New Zealand teams as well. The Brumbies aren't a pushover.
No.
The Reds aren't a pushover.
No.
Going to the Ndrua and winning there is
Especially at
never
Lyle
easy.
Talker. Yep.
I don't know. I just think it's really hard for anyone to go and win in Lautoka. And the Chiefs, I think, showed a few signs.
Yeah, they had a few cracks.
Weaknesses,
last
if you will. Kryptonites.
But do you think the
Little
Brumbies have got a
gems
better
of
chance against
kryptonite.
the Blues than the Ndrua have against the Chiefs?
Yeah, I do. Well, I don't know. I really don't know.
Bobby
Can-
Schwab.
Yeah.
No.
Can I go down the middle?
You can sit
I
on
don't
the
want to
fence.
discount the Ndrua in their backyard, particularly if they are 0-3.
What is more chance of happening then?
They'll be hungry.
The Ndrua do beat the Chiefs, or later on tomorrow night, the Force go to the Waratahs and win
Force
that.
go to the Warriors. I'm on the Force.
Really?
I've liked them. I've liked them pre-tournament. I've put money on them and won and lost at the same time. But I really like the Force.
They lost at home to the Reds, mate.
Reds are
New South Wales are unbeaten.
last minute. But
Last minute,
again, the
couple
Reds
of
are a
them.
very good side.
Yep.
I think all the Aussie sides are actually in a really good spot this year, and it's not all to do with the Rebels. Ceasing
Folding
to
and-
exist,
yeah,
folding.
a whole lot of players
But
going to
that
the
has
teams, yeah.
played a big role, and the Force have some talent, and they've got a good coaching group. No, I'm giving the Force a real good chance there.
What is more chance of happening?
Might even put
We're
some money
still
on them.
talking about Super Rugby. The Force go to the Waratahs tomorrow night, 9:35, or the Reds go to the Crusaders in Christchurch Sunday afternoon, rugby 3:35, and win that game.
So Force over Waratahs or Reds over Crusaders? I'll say the Force over the Waratahs. More travel actually than the Reds going to Christchurch, right? Going from Perth
it's only
to
3
Sydney.
hours or 4 hours or something.
But I think the Crusaders are a much better side than that Chiefs result suggests, and I think anyone who watched that will agree that it was a damn even contest. And if anything, the Crusaders actually had the upper hand, maybe in the early stages of that second half when James O'Connor came on. They looked threatening. But
Well,
the
they
Chiefs
got blown out in the
But
end.
any team, I think, would have lost against that Chiefs side. I'd probably give the Force more of a chance than the Reds.
All right, let's turn our attention to the NRL.
I was going to say you're missing out on
No,
the
yeah.
key fixtures this weekend.
Okay, what is more chance of happening? The Tigers at home to the Knights tonight, 8 o'clock, or this fixture's been moved from Queensland because of the cyclone. Rabbits beat the Dolphins at home. So the Tigers are at home to the Knights. Do they beat the Knights or do the Rabbits beat the Dolphins? Both games tonight in
Well, I
NRL.
would have said the Rabbitohs, aside from the fact that the Dolphins are likely missing some key players and that the game has been moved. But now
See, that just takes
has
all the wind
happened-
out of it because that was a full house in Brisbane for that game. That
Yeah.
takes all the wind out of their sails, the Dolphins.
now that that's all happened, mixed in with a new head coach in Christian Wolf up against Wayne Bennett now, the Rabbitohs are missing some key players, but still, put your money. Well, the bookies will love the Bunnies, don't want they? So I'd put all my money on the Bunnies. Then again, I think the Tigers will beat the Knights as well.
You do?
I think the NRL is very similar to the NFL in the first week or two. Where
Tigers are the wooden spooners from every year.
Yeah, but there are fixtures where you'll look at it and you'll go, this is a bit of an even contest, and maybe the bookies will favour one team over the other, and I'd always go with the other team. Like the Knights, Tigers, I don't think the Knights, I don't think they'll make the top 8. The Tigers, might
No one
push
thought
for the
they
top
would
8.
last year. And they made the top 8.
Yeah, well, they were helped by the Dolphins and the Dragons falling
Okay,
apart.
sure, but they still got there. Look at the points table.
I don't think the Tigers. I think the Tigers will be fighting off the spoon again.
Yeah, I
but
do.
week 1, they'll be G'd up, new
Yeah.
players
Yeah,
at
yeah.
home. Yeah, but back to the original question, I think the Bunnies will beat the
What is more chance happening? The
Dolphins.
Rabbits beat the Dolphins tonight, or the Dogs beat St George tomorrow night, 7:30.
I'll say the Rabbitohs over the Dolphins. I think that's it's turning into a real lopsided contest, unfortunately. And if the Dolphins win, hey, prove me wrong, I don't care. The Dogs-Dragons one's a flip of the coin.
Isn't it?
That's a flip of the coin.
See, the Dragons were poised to make a real finals push last year, and then they choked it.
Yeah.
And the Dogs looked like a team that was a top 4 side up until about the last half a dozen games, and then they kind of fell.
Both situations are fine because neither side was really predicted to be a contending team pre-season, and then you had one of them pushing for the top 4.
Have you got these two teams in your 8 this year, Dragons and Doggies?
Yes.
No.
Oh, I've got the Dragons pushing for it. I can't remember what my top 8 was.
Pushing for an 8's not an 8.
I know. You're right.
Well, what's got more chance happening? Rabbits win or Dogs win?
I think more chance the Rabbits win.
Huh?
But I like the Dragons this year. Seriously.
What is more chance happening? The Dogs go to the Dragons tomorrow night, 7:30, or the game afterwards, which is going to be a crackerjack. The Cowboys go to Manly and win. See, as I said, there's some fantastic fixtures.
I love the NRL.
Yeah, you look down that fixture list and you go, yeah, I want to watch that. I want to watch that. Get a life and go out and find a girlfriend.
No, don't do that. Stay home, watch sport.
Stay home, watch sport,
order
drink.
a pizza, have some beers.
Go on.
Yeah, just simple, easygoing.
How many girlfriends want to do that all Saturday night?
Oh,
just the best ones in the world.
To be fair, from experience, some don't mind it for the first few months, and then once you get to about a year and a half into the relationship.
Well, then they start. Does this season ever end?
Yeah.
What do you mean the NFL started?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean?
Oh, the
it's
NRL's done
season?
finally. No, the NBA's just.
Yeah, we've got the Premier.
Bathurst is coming up.
What is more chance happening? Dogs go to Dragons or Cowboys beat Manly?
Dogs beat the Dragons. Yeah, dogs beat the Dragons.
Are you sure?
Dogs beat the Dragons.
Dogs beat the Dragons.
More likely than the Cowboys beating Manly, I think. Yes.
What is more chance happening then? Manly beat the Cowboys or Storm beat the Eels?
Storm beat the Eels.
I've got big raps on the Eels this year.
Yes, new coach.
Everyone's going Melbourne.
Do you know that Craig Bellamy? I don't know.
Good reason,
I don't know how many years it is now. But it's something like 50. It could be actually 20-something years. I don't know. It's an absurd number. Apologies that I don't actually have it. But they don't lose round 1 matches.
Oh, really?
They never lose in the first round. Never. I think the last time.
they're both our picks to win it anyway this year, aren't they? The Storm. So.
You know who I put?
Apart from me,
I tell you what. You know who I put $50 on the other day?
That's because you won money on ration.
I've actually done quite well in my betting the last few weeks.
Yeah.
But no, the other day it was when I was watching.
And how much are the Broncos paying to win it all?
Well, it got boosted to $9.
And you put
50, so I'll get $450 if they win the premiership. And you know who I put $50 on to miss the top 8?
No, you did not, did you?
Penrith.
Yep. To miss the top 8?
Yep.
Oh, what? You hand the money to the TAB then.
There's two things. One, I'm hoping that they're outside the 8 at some point and then the cash outs nice them out, which probably won't happen because the odds of them making the 8 are so high. But I've heard some things.
Here we go.
I've heard some things.
We got 2 to go.
That Canberra isn't as good this year.
What is more chance happening? The Eels beat the Storm Sunday 6:05 or MP get their first win?
Eels beat the Storm.
MP get their first win against the...
I'm sorry. Moana Pacifica, big fan of what you are about.
Tomorrow night, 7:05.
Genuinely, I'm not just saying that. Genuinely.
Can they win that game?
They can, but well, I tell you what, maybe I'm being a bit harsh because they did run the Highlanders really close.
Yeah,
last
they did,
week.
and they kept them scoreless in the second half.
Yeah,
it's exactly right.
Actually, I'll reverse that. Sorry, maybe I'll reverse it. Moana Pacifica beating the Hurricanes much more chance than the Eels beating.
Final one then. What is more chance happening? The Black Caps win the Champions Trophy Sunday, only the second ever international one-day tournament win, or Auckland hosts the next America's Cup. Come on, you Black Caps.
You could have thrown out there that United find a way to somehow win the Premier League this year, or Auckland hosts the next America's Cup, and I would say there's more chance that Man United win the Premier League this year, even though I think statistically you guys can't. Can you? You might not be able to.
I don't think
sure.
No, we can't because our squad's rubbish, mate.
Just everything's rubbish. The stadium, the ownership, the squad. Geez, the bread's probably stale and hard in your lunchroom. The tea's cold.
Yeah, it is.
What's that old thing
Charles
that Charles
that's
Barkley's
right. Yeah, you're going to
about?
Phoenix. He said you can park your car right outside the stadium.
Yeah.
There's no one else
There's no one
there.
Yeah. There's no one at the games.
America's Cup ain't coming to Auckland, people.
This is the DSPN.